what I want to say to you is that your deepest challenges, the places that you are suffering most, is your doorway to enlightenment. You agree with me? If, what is the if? Because obviously we're suffering a lot for a long time and it's not bringing us any enlightenment, right? It is the door to enlightenment if. What is the if? What is the important part of how do we transform the suffering into enlightenment?
Seeing it for what it is.
Seeing it for what it is. Okay, what else? Accepting. Letting go of the past. Okay. The big if is if we actually deal with it. Yes? Mm-hmm. Now, why are we stuck most of the time? Because we do not deal with it. Somebody said negative thoughts about self, okay? And you can go on and on and on and on with these negative thoughts about yourself, but you're not really dealing with them. What would be dealing with them? Reflection, okay. But what would be dealing with them? Yes?
Strategies to offset it or
Coping mechanism.
No, it's all coping. Coping is not healing. Identifying what it is. Delving deep and identifying what it is. Okay? I'm going to ask you guys, come and sit here so I can see you. Identifying what it is. Now, people who said negative thoughts, do you know where they're coming from?
I do.
You do? Okay, where?
It's not feeling good enough about yourself.
Not feeling... Not,
And feeling needed all the time.
feeling needy. Why do we feel needy? Because we're not feeling good about ourselves. Okay. Now, do you know how to heal that?
No.
Okay, that's why I'm here. This is why I'm going to be talking to you today. So, we need to identify what it is. We need to go in there and call it by its name. I am not feeling good about myself. We need to understand, how did I get here? What happened to me that I'm feeling this way about myself? Right? And I need to understand, how am I going to heal this? To shift this? Right? Okay. And remember, we're stuck if we don't do these steps. You can be stuck forever in the turmoil of negative thoughts. So, I'm saying all of that not out of books. I had to heal tremendous amount of inner pain myself to come and be here this moment, and to be the powerful, whole person that I am today. I needed to do a lot of transforming myself. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story so that you can see, and then I'll give you some keys. I'll tell you a couple of points in my life where I needed to do this investigation, dealing with, feeling, and moving through to come to the other side. The other side is challenge, transition, journey, transformation. That's how it goes. And you can do it. Anybody can do it if you are willing to put the time, the effort, and the dedication. I was born and raised in Israel. Now, when I was a child, there was not much there. Israel is a young country. Everybody knows that, right? Poverty, wars, all of that. What I remember is, I remember running to the bunkers in the middle of the night. My dad, when I was born, got wounded by the war, the first war, and did not come home for 2 years. He got shot by his spine and was in 2 years of processes in the hospitals. And he lost the ability to use his leg. But 2 years of, and then he came home finally and lost his mind. So for 3 years, he was in a mental institute. Post-traumatic, severe. So the first 5 years or 6 years of my life, I didn't know my dad. My mom was freaking out because she just kind of got married and all of a sudden she doesn't have a husband. And when my dad came back, he was broken. He would scream at night, he would break things, he would be depressed. So my mom needed some help, and I was the help. And I was 5 years old. Okay? So I had to learn to not feel, to not need, to do everything that she wants me to do, and to be this extremely functioning person at the age of 5. Okay? Now, what did I cover inside of me? Fear, pain, loneliness, sense of like nobody's there for me, nobody's hearing me, nobody's seeing me, right? So that was a lot of stuff that was there, yeah? And I always wanted my dad so much to love me, but he was not in a space to love anybody, you know, and not even himself. So here I was with all of that, and I had to transform all of that. So I needed to understand why I thought negatively about myself. A child, when you don't get the attention, when you don't get the nurturing, you don't know what to think. You're a child. You're thinking that there's something is missing in you, right? What else are you going to think? And you start interpreting that you're not lovable, you're not enough, you don't know how to be loved, there's something wrong. Now, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. Right. Okay? These are interpretations of the child inside of us. And we stay with them. They stay like a wound inside our emotional self. Yeah? So then we need to develop a defensive self, a survival self, and we need to cover all that pain by being good, by excelling, by caretaking other people. I took the excelling route. I had to excel in everything. I thought that if I excelled in everything, then maybe I can feel better about myself, right? But it really doesn't help, you know. So some people do the pleasing and appeasing. Some people do the controlling, manipulating. Some people get very aggressive. Some people become withdrawn and cut off and shut down. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. Yes? So there is a wound in the emotional self, and then there is a whole compensation in the defensive self. And it's not healing the wound, it's making it worse. Because no matter how much I excelled, I didn't feel better about myself. And I'll tell you, I really excelled. But it didn't help. So the transformation for me was I needed to go into this pain. I needed to understand my inner child. And I, meaning my expanded self, so I just mentioned three selves, three parts of the self. The emotional self is where the wounds are. The defensive self or the survival self is where all the compensations are. And then you have, thank God, an expanded self that is God inside of you, God's consciousness inside of you. That's your wisdom, your intuition, your compassion, your spiritual understanding. That sits in your expanded self. I'm going like that because the third eye is a good place to understand where your expanded self sits. Are you with me? Okay. I needed to do a lot of meditations and prayer to find my expanded self, and then to heal my emotional and relax my defensive. And that, because I had to find it, I can teach it today. And I've been teaching people for the last 26 years how to heal themselves, how to find their expanded self. I give them the tools and the coaching that the expanded self needs, because you need tools to heal your emotional and relax your defensive. Your defensive self should be just a protective self, not reactive, overblown, compensatory self. You know? It needs to be just like your bodyguard, and not a repressive energy that tells you you got to be perfect and you got to just be so, and if you're not so, then you're horrible, and, you know, get yourself together, you know, all of that stuff that your defensive is saying to your emotional. Because these are like two sisters or two brothers. Your defensive doesn't know how to fix the suffering that's in the emotional. Imagine two kids, you know, and there's no parent in the house. So one kid is suffering, the other kid is suffering too, but the other sister or the other brother is going like, get yourself together already. If you were just getting yourself together, we would be all right. Yeah, you recognize that? Come on, come on. What's wrong with you? Like that. And it's suffering, because they're both suffering. So the parent needs to go in, which is your expanded self. And that expanded self needs to get some tools. And this is what I'm doing for people. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you is that I had to go to the army, just like all people in Israel. And after the army, I had an impulse to go to the Academy for the Performing Arts. And I didn't show any talent. I was very shy and withdrawn and, you know. So my dad said to me, I am sorry, I'm not raising gypsies, I'm not paying for this. And I don't know why you're going there, because I don't think you have any talent. I went, and there were like thousands of people auditioning, and they chose me. They chose out of thousands, 36 people. I don't know why they chose me. I was meant to do this. So my dad didn't talk to me. And he said to my mom, she should go out of the house. She should fend for herself. My mom somehow convinced him to let me be in the house, and I got all the grants. So I finished my school, and I became famous a month after school on national stage. My dad laminated everything that was on the papers, brought it to work, and still didn't talk to me. He warmed up later, and he did become one of my biggest supporters, But it took him some while, because I was earning money, right? I had big contracts, and it was legitimate. I was not a gypsy anymore, and it was okay. But here is my challenge, the other challenge that I want to talk to you about, that I had to overcome. I was very wounded, young woman, and so I was very much like this. I was not in touch with my body. Everybody in that class were like very expressive people, young people who are came from high school of the performing arts or whatever, yeah? And I was like this. And my teachers used to scream at me, open up. You want to be an actor? You want to perform? Open up. So the challenge for me was to open up and to become expressive. And it helped me heal. But it was a challenge, and it was a fight. And we started 36, we ended, after 3 years, 6 people. They would drop. They would say, you don't belong, you don't belong. Save yourself the heartache. You don't belong in the theater, go. So from 36, we ended up 6. And I fought to be expressive. I fought to open up. I fought to be the person that I knew I was. And I did. And then I performed for the next 35 years, and I was very successful. And everything that I learned, I put in my coaching with people. I encourage people to write and draw and move and make sounds, to open themselves up, to open their expression, because it's a key to healing. Are you with me up to now? Yes. Okay. Now, every one of you is an amazing potential. Every one of you has gifts, talents, abilities, and a special mission for this life. Let me see your hands up if you know that about yourself. Okay. So, we have a responsibility a sacred responsibility to go through the challenges, to work through them, and become everything that God, life, universe meant us to be. This is not a rehearsal. This is it, guys. You know? And we need the coaching. We need some system that would help us. We need it. But please do not give up on yourself. You are here to blossom, to make other people happy, to give of your talents, to be a contribution. This is why you're here. Now, let me talk to you about the 3 golden keys. This is now a practical teaching. The first key of healing and self-actualization. What is self-actualization? This is like a weird word, right? What is self-actualization?
Becoming the most you can be.
Becoming, actualizing everything that you have inside of you, making it actual. Yes? Okay. The first key of self-healing and self-actualization is knowing yourself. Now, knowing yourself means that deep investigation, right? Identifying what's going on. Where are my difficulties? Where are my pain? Where is my fear? What's going on? Where are my blockages? Knowing that. And also knowing what my talents, abilities, and power is. Yes? Self-knowledge. Self-knowledge also means self-love, self-acceptance. And the third part of this key is self-nurturing. I'm going to say this again. The first key, I call it self-knowledge. But what do you have inside of that? Knowing the whole map of you. Where are the points that you need to heal and give yourself love and support yourself and all of that? What are your strong powers, abilities, skills? You with me? And taking responsibility for all of that and nurturing it. Just knowing is not enough. We actually have to do the work. Respect, heal, nurture. We got that, right? And that's not so easy to do. That's why it's good to have a system that helps you do all of that. The second key is inner leadership. What do I mean by that? Think, who is leading your life right now? Is it your emotional? Is it your defensive? Or is it your expanded? Who is in the driver's seat of your life? Who is the leader of your life? Let's get some honest answers. Expanded is ideally, but this is how you operate. Good. All right.
I'm 1 and 2.
What is 1 and 2? Emotional and defensive. Yes, You know what? Most people are going like emotional, defensive, emotional, defensive. You know, yeah? And so that's not leadership, unfortunately, right? Okay. So the work is, thank you for saying that, but that's like 95% of the people. So the work is finding your expanded. That's what I help people do. Finding your expanded, standing in the space of your expanded self, and getting the tools that you need to go, here's my emotional, there's a lot of wounds here, let me see how I can help this part. Here's my defensive, a lot of reactivity here. Let me see what I need to do here. Okay? So I give people the skills to do this, emotional, let's heal them, let's make them joyful, creative, free, defensive, let's make them calm down and be just appropriate bodyguard. And let's do life from here, expanded, from the vision of your expanded. You take the kids with you, okay? You take care of them, you heal them, and you take them with you on the road. But you walk the vision of your expanded self, because that's the universe will for you. You understand that, yes? But if the kids are going crazy, you can't walk there. You got to heal them, you got to calm them down, and you take them with you. And then they can help you. This one can be fun. This one can watch so you don't get run over by a car, you know? Like they come with you and they're helping you. So that's inner leadership. A very important skill that you have to learn. The last key is the key of nurturing self-actualization. You have 7 areas of life. Did you know that? I call them gates. These are your channels of expression. The first gate is the gate of the body. Your soul speaks through the body. Yes? The second gate is the gate of emotions. That needs to be open up and healthy. The third gate is the gate of relationships, gate of dialogue. I'm going around because they're all around you, these 7 gates. Then you have the gate of creative expression. Very important gate, the gate of fun. Then you have the gate of life path. Your purpose, your lessons, your contribution. It needs to be open, it needs to be in action. The next gate is the gate of silence, prayer and meditation. And the last gate is the gate of knowledge, any new knowledge. These are the 7 areas of your life, the 7 gates. And in the last key, you need to learn, and this is what I teach people, to clear the gates. Clear the body, the energy system. Clear the emotions. Create good dialogues with people and yourself. Open up the gate of creative expression. Life path, all of that. Meaning take care of all 7 areas of your life. What happens if you just take care of 3 areas of your life? What happens? You are in imbalance. It doesn't work. Do you understand? Nobody will go to the gym and work out just one leg and one arm, right? You know, why are we doing that in life? So, very important to understand that. Your challenges are the door to your enlightenment if you work with them properly. We all have challenges. We all need to do the work. And there are 3 keys. 1, the key of self-knowledge, self-understanding, self-love, self-acceptance, That's the first key. The second key, inner leadership. Do not let your emotional or your defensive be the leader of your life. And the last key, the third key, is actualize, open up and energize all 7 areas of your life so that you are balanced, so that you are whole. Okay? Gates of Power method and program takes you by the hand and teaches you and helps you to do all of that at the same time. It's a full program of individual coaching and workshops. It's weaving together meditations, emotional work, creative work, all of that together. And action, taking action. All of that is one-stop shop, and you get all of that, all the tools for life. My book, Gates of Power, Actualize Your True Self, is right here. So take action, people. It's possible. People have transformed, created amazing results. Okay? Let's clap for all of us who are here. Yes.